Why is it that we travel? For some of us, it's to get away from the busy rush of life. For others, an opportunity to experience new cultures and new places. For each of us, though, the reason is personal and also unique. For me, like many of you, I've spent a life stuck at a desk, and after this many years on the Earth, I can honestly say I haven't seen the Earth. So over the next several months, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling on this channel, and while some of it will be exotic, one would do well to remember that sometimes it's the closest and most easily accessible places that we should start with. One such place is less than 2 hours from me, and thanks to a friend, I decided to check it out, and I brought along the DJI Action 3 as my only device. I've reviewed the Action 3 in a previous episode, but for the next few minutes, I want to focus specifically and only on the camera itself, because in the end, that is what will produce the memories that you'll keep after the trip is over. So join me on this journey right down the street to San Marino, California, to a place that feels a million miles away. The Huntington Library is a cool as shit place to check out. Admission is like 25 bucks. This should be a really cool spot to check out how the Action 3 does both vlogging, but really I want to see camera quality when we are in 60 frames per second, some of the slow-mo stuff, and how is it when it comes to color accuracy. This place is enormous. Parking is, I mean, I'm still waiting. Let's see, I'm gonna follow these people. Are you guys leaving? No? Well, not real interested in talking. She looked at me and went, fuck off. No, that's wrong. We're just following them. Okay, Chinese garden, Japanese garden, that's what I want. One of the things I want to see when I go to Japan is a Japanese garden, right? I'm more interested in more like the rural areas, things like that. Well, I could get that right here. It's 2 hours down the street, and I never found it. You gotta look around where you live, because I bet there's something that you're missing. The Huntington Library, better known to locals as simply the Huntington, has an endowment of over $400 million and is a popular tourist stop near Los Angeles. It's a massive facility with over 200 acres featuring various art, statues, manuscripts, and rare books. Our focus today, though, is the 130-acre Botanical Gardens, which has over 83,000 different plant species, and for us, some great scenery to test the Osmo Action 3. All the gardens are themed, and when you're there, it really does feel like you've traveled to the other side of the world. All of the footage that you're watching now was shot by hand in 4K at 60 frames per second, and I tend to put things down to around 50% speed just to give it a smoother look. Other than the speed variation, I've done nothing as far as editing the footage. For this entire video, I've also left all of the Action 3 settings on auto. Yes, you can shoot with a manual white balance and other settings, but I tend to think that most people prefer to turn it on and move on. One thing I can tell you is that the standard color profiles are better on the Action 3 than GoPro for regular use. With my Hero 11, I am almost always forced to shoot in a flat color profile and then color grade after before posting, as the presets to me are all too dramatic. So lighting always presents a major problem for action cameras, but you see we're going in and out of a lot of different kinds of lighting and a lot of different kinds of shading, and so far, at least on the viewfinder, it seems like it's doing pretty well. I should have left myself a lot more time. I'm gonna have to come back. I didn't imagine there'd be this much walking. I probably shouldn't have worn dress shoes. Just the architecture is absolutely amazing. Okay, I'm still stuck in the Chinese garden, so I need to go to Japanese garden. Okay, so like, I don't know if I was in the Japanese garden or the Chinese garden. Like, this is embarrassing. They're like next to each other. I'm just like dumb American right now. I think we got some pretty good slow-mo on that too. We'll see that in just a minute. But one of the things I also want to look at is color accuracy, right? So, I mean, I'm in a botanical garden. There must be like some bright colored plants somewhere or something like that. Yeah, that was the Chinese garden. This
is the Japanese, oh my God.
I've reviewed a lot of footage and I absolutely love how the Osmo Action 3 handles color. Just in this scene alone, you can see that there are so many different gradients, from the bright green trees to the olive greens in the koi pond to the late fall foliage and changing leaves. I, for one, am very impressed. Slow motion is another strong suit, and we shot this at 4K 120 frames per second, and it's both sharp and smooth all the way down to about 20% speed. Compared to my Pixel 7 Pro, I'd choose the Action 3 just about every time for slow motion.
I was looking for bamboo. It's at the restaurant.
A word about horizon balancing. That's how I shoot everything, and I want it to look as linear as possible with no fisheye or distortion. I think the Action 3 excels here versus the GoPro. This traditional Japanese home with its straight lines and minimalist design would be a challenge for any wide-angle lens, much less one on an action camera. But the Action 3 handles it wonderfully while still preserving that nice wide view.
You know, it's funny, I've traveled so much in South America and also Europe and mostly in the United States. And Asia, I mean, I have no clue, and that's really where I want to go, just to try something that's completely outside my comfort zone. You know, I mean, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this says. Potato chip.
Let's wrap things up with a look at the camera on the Action 3. When it comes to still photography, most of the time you'll probably be using your phone. And, you know, that's what you trust. But I'm a firm believer that there are plenty of places you don't want to bring a $1,200 phone. Plus, if you're already shooting with one device, wouldn't it be nice just to stick with that one? In the next series of shots, we'll put the Action 3 up against the Pixel 7 Pro. Now, Pixel is well known for being one of the best cameras on any smartphone, and in this next group of photos, you'll see first the Action 3 photo and then the Pixel 7 photo. I think you'll see there's something to be said for the quality of the shots that DJI is able to produce.
Like, I find more and more I'm looking for, like, peace and quiet. Something that's peaceful. Something that is, you know, easy for me to just kind of detach from the world. I almost don't want to talk because there's so many sounds, so many beautiful things to hear. Ready? Just listen to this. Stop it. So, I mean, we got some challenging light here. Again, shadows, bright detail, how the white balance is working. If you're gonna use your camera like most people are gonna use your camera, they're going to just put it on auto, point and shoot and go. And they're not gonna sit there and fiddle with white balance settings and all the rest, right? And so you're gonna have challenging lighting environments like this is often. Get out in the world, try different things. That's why we travel, that's why we do it. The best part is you get to do it here, 2 hours away. Find places like this. Come to the Huntington Library. It's awesome.
My month with the DJI Action 3 has brought some serious surprises, and I've added it to my kit permanently. To tell you the truth, every time I try to reach for my GoPro, I choose the Action 3 instead, and that's not to say that the GoPro doesn't produce fantastic video. But for the purpose of simplicity, I would say the Osmo Action 3 is the go-to point-and-shoot action camera at He Has the Camera on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week with a new device, and please like and subscribe.